Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United have defeated Luton Town 3-0, and even though the scoreline reflects that we had an easy time in this game, I think this game overall was a lot more telling when you watch it compared to just looking at the score. What's up, everybody? It's the Aiden Sports Show. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Manchester United versus Luton Town 3-0 match reaction. We're going to go through the player ratings for every single player, give my overall performance review of this team, and where I think the positives and negatives lie. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aiden Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below. Did you think Manchester United was good enough tonight to go into a game like a Brighton or a game, any sort of game in the Premier League, and win in the same fashion? Let me know in the comments below if that's what you think, because in my opinion, as much as the 3-0 is very nice to have, I don't think Manchester United were particularly great today. I think in many instances this was a very boring game to watch, but I can't be too negative because the fact is we've got the result that we wanted. We got the result that should have happened. We should have comfortably beaten this team, and I think in the end, this game was comfortable. There were a few scares here and there, and the player ratings are going to reflect a lot of good performances coming from the CDMs and some defenders out there, because in the end, they played well. And a lot of what I have to say might not be what you want to hear, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna reflect my honesty, man. First things first, Fred and Nemanja Matic should definitely, one of them at least, should be playing in the Brighton game. If we're going to go with Scott McTominay again, we're going to see the exact same performance. And I don't want to bag on Scott McTominay too much. He didn't play. He doesn't deserve the unnecessary treatment. He didn't play. So I'm not going to go and talk about him that much. But seriously, both of those players are one of my candidates for man of the match. I'll give my man of the match later, but both of them are in there because they both played phenomenal. They both played well. And I, for the life of me, don't understand why Fred didn't play against Crystal Palace, but he needs to play against Brighton. Matic needs to play against Brighton. One of them needs to play against Brighton. We need a proper CDM. The positioning in this game was sensational. So many tackles won from their attackers trying, because in the end, Luton are not attacking side. They're not great at attacking. So Fred and Matic were picking tackles left, right, and centre. And they did such a tremendous job. And I do think they lead the line for Manchester United as the best players on the pitch today. But overall, it's more than that, because we did a lot of rotation today. We rotated basically everybody. And the only player I believe that actually had stayed in the lineup was again Harry Maguire, because he never gets benched. So he's the only player that actually played today that still played in the Crystal Palace game. We rotated everybody today. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we had a lot of our B to C level tier players play today, and it showed on that pitch. That's why it was boring. Literally, there was little to no creativity coming from a lot of our players. We look so generic. We look like a basic team. We look like a team from 6 years ago, maybe even less than that, maybe only with the Jose Mourinho side, just passing a left, right, and centre and not really doing anything with the ball. The second half for me was obviously the most exciting, but mostly the final 10 minutes, because that's when things really kicked things off to life. That's when the counter-attacking started to happen. That's when we actually ran at the defenders. And overall, we scored 2 goals in the last 10 minutes when we had our best players on in that game. So in my opinion, a lot of our best players probably should have played. I really wanted to see Rashford start this game. I wanted to see Greenwood start this game. I wanted to see Martial start this game. But you don't get what you want sometimes. But with Gallo and Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard, it looked really generic. It looked extremely predictable. And that's why basically the only goal we got was from a penalty from Brandon Williams. Oh, I know you heard penalty, so I know the rival fans are coming in. You heard the penalty. Let's talk about the penalty real quick. Brandon Williams was in the box pretty much, and I'm sorry, but whoever that, I don't know the Luton Town players, I have to admit that, and I do apologise, but whoever committed that foul should be really upset with what he did. Like, seriously should be frustrated, because that is the most stupidest place to concede a penalty in my life. Literally, he was barely in the box. He got ahead of you, fair enough. He beat you with the dribble, Brandon Williams did. Why take him down? What is the threat there? Brandon Williams is not going to shoot, and you had a lot of players back to defend the cross. That's a stupid penalty that it is a penalty, by the way, for Man United fans. It is a penalty, of course it is, but it's a stupid penalty for Luton to give away. So in the end, we could have ended up being 0-0 with 80 minutes left, and that's when Luton would really feel like they had a chance, and maybe that's when we catch them. But anyway, enough about assumptions and what could have happened. The fact is that we did win 3-0. I want to go into the player ratings now. Overall, the other goals came from a Marcus Rashford, basically a counter-attack. Finally, Marcus Rashford gets a goal, and Mason Greenwood's world-class finish, in my opinion. Let's go into the player ratings. Let's start off with Dean Henderson. In my opinion, Dean Henderson gets a 7 out of 10. Literally had nothing to do the whole game, but when his number was called, he made a very, very, very good save. And yes, he had a few kicks here and there that were questionable. Of course, that seems to be everything with our goalkeepers at the moment. But it seems to be that David De Gea had a great game against Crystal Palace. Henderson had a great game here. And that's what you want. You want both your goalkeepers, when the number is called, when they're playing, they step up to the occasion and they perform. And both goalkeepers seem to do that in their games. And that's very impressive. And I really enjoyed Dean Henderson playing today. Made me smile when he got a save because I know the quality. And he probably doesn't deserve just Carabao Cup entries. But for the moment, it's basically going to be Carabao Cup and Premier League. So he's going to get his game time. And let's see how well he does, man. He's going to make a name for himself somehow, and this should be the way. What a great save that was. Seriously, near post, great header from that Luton player. Matic could not jump with him, of course he couldn't, and it was a great save. And he did make another save in the game as well, but that save alone basically gave us this advancement. He basically advanced us with that save, because 1-1, it could be a very different story. But in the end, that is a great save, and I have to give my applause for that. So he gets a 7 out of 10 for me. One of the players, one of many. No one's going to get an 8, but a lot of people might get a 7. Wan Bissaka. Now, if you're talking about Wan Bissaka in the first half, 5 out of 10. If you're talking about Wan Bissaka in the second half, a 7 out of 10. So in my opinion, you narrow it down, simple as this, he gets a 6 out of 10. I was thinking about what to say for Wan Bissaka in this video, and I was going to say, can you remember anything that he did in this game? Can you remember him doing anything? Did you even notice his existence in the game? And for 60 minutes, 70 minutes, I did not notice Wan Bissaka at all. I forgot he was on the pitch because he didn't do anything attacking-wise, and no one came at him defensively. But once the substitutions came in, we saw Wan Bissaka get more of the ball. We saw him cut in from the right wing a lot, and he still didn't do much defensively. But at least I noticed him, and this is basically Wan Bissaka's preseason game. I mean, he didn't play in the friendly. He didn't play against Crystal Palace. This is the first time I've seen Wan Bissaka in over a month. So I don't think he played terribly. Maybe this is a sign that he'll play against Brighton because he didn't have a bad game. He's clearly our number one right back. I'm sorry, even with Foster Mensah playing as well as he did, Wan Bissaka, in my opinion, should be the right back for Manchester United. I know that it's supposed to be competition and all of that, but I think when you narrow it down, it really should be Wan Bissaka that is our right back. And I thought in the second half, he really showed that he can be a very good right back. And the jury's still out on him. I mean, he had a fantastic start to last season, and hopefully he could kick things off in a very similar fashion because we're going to need him, man. The defense needs a player like Wan Bissaka, and I think if he's not there, it makes our defense weaker. Maybe our attacking strengths will increase, but our defensive game falls, and we need our defensive game more at the moment. Moving on to Eric Bailly, and he's another player I'm going to give 7 out of 10 to. Eric Bailly was extremely busy today because he seemed to be carrying the load at the centre-back position. Very, very crucial interception when after Dean Henderson made his save, they had another shot and Eric Bailly was there to clear it away. Any single time the ball went past Harry Maguire, Eric Bailly was there, sprinting his ass off to get to that ball. Any time that Wan Bissaka was misplaced, Eric Bailly was playing right back basically and stopping them from getting in the way. Eric Bailly, in my opinion, has solidified his place as in this Manchester United team. All we need for him now is to stay healthy. I want to see him play against Brighton, I'm not going to lie. But I don't know if that's going to happen, but at least let him have the opportunity to prove himself in the Premier League again. And He was good, man. He was good. And I do think if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when you're looking at that Brighton game, you have a big question to ask yourself. Because a performance like this does not go unnoticed. It should not go unnoticed. He deserves to play. And I hope he does play. Because Lindelof, in the end, his performance shouldn't go unnoticed either because it was bad. And it's not something that you should get away with. It's as simple as that. And maybe Lindelof can make a name for himself in the next Carabao Cup tie. Maybe he does play against Brighton. But overall, Eric Bailly has set the bar now for this season of who should be that right centre-back at the moment. He set the bar. Now let's see if Victor Lindelof can raise the bar even more. Because in the end, we're going to need that because it's so weak at the moment. Setting the bar doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good bar to be obtainable. It's not. Because that centre-back position, especially on that right side, seems to be the missing point. And if you want to move Harry Maguire there, then you still need a left-sided centre-back. So it seems to be the big topic of discussion, who should be the starting centre-backs for Manchester United. And let's go to Harry Maguire, because I don't think he's safe in this either. I'm giving Harry Maguire a 5 out of 10. Did not do anything except turn the ball over today. He had one good cross that he headed right into the goalkeeper's hands. If you want to give that a good rating, that's fine. But honestly, I did not notice Harry Maguire at all except for his turnovers. He didn't really make any defensive plays. And he didn't really have that much of the ball in general. But since he had the turnovers, I'm not going to give him an average score because you have to look at the opponent that we're facing. And maybe because he didn't have a lot to do, because they didn't attack much, you could say he was average. But in my opinion, giving the ball away against a team that's not even pressing you, giving the ball away against a team that really didn't come near you whatsoever the entire game because they know you can pass the ball, and turning it over like that, absolutely not. I'm not letting you get away with that. That's a 5 out of 10. That's a bad performance. And I don't think he's safe from that topic of conversation either. I don't think Harry Maguire, when you look at it, should be guaranteed starting. He does give us a presence. He's a very big lad. He can win headers. But other than that, what are his strengths and weaknesses? I still really don't know what to expect from Harry Maguire except for winning a few headers here and there. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. He's the captain. He clearly has traits that Manchester United like. But at the end of the day, why should his performance go unnoticed? And why should he keep playing every single game? Where some games he just doesn't live up to the hype that was given to him. And there needs to be a question there as well. And I don't know why that is. But there needs to be an answer there. We'll move on. Brandon Williams, 6 out of 10 for me. He won the penalty. He did very well defensively. In the end, attacking-wise, is still a big question mark on his game. Is he a left-back? Still a big question mark on his game. But you have to give the positives there. Defensively, he was probably our best player today, besides Eric Bailly. He was definitely the best fullback defensive-wise today. They attacked him, and he lived up, and he did his thing. He blocked a lot of opportunities. He kept up with a lot of players as well. He even got a yellow card. That's not really a positive, but the fact is he gave a lot of effort today, and I don't mind him playing games like this in the Carabao Cup, because in the end, you got to play him somewhere. And until we get another left back, he is our left back for the backup position, and he needs to fight for his place here. And I feel like any player would need to fight for their place here at Manchester United. A lot of that team that came out today needs to fight for their places. And I think Brandon Williams is one of the many that really did live up to the hype. Move on. Here we go. Nemanja Matic is a 7 out of 10. Nemanja Matic, I don't have to notice him to know that he had a good game. Literally, both CDMs played amazing today. Nemanja Matic was probably the one, in my opinion, I noticed the least of, but he got his tackles in. He got his passes in. He was in the right place at the right time. I don't need to see Nemanja Matic dribble against 5 players and have a killer shot for him to have a good game. Basic sometimes works. Nemanja Matic is not a creativity player that's going to kick a ball down to break the entire defense. I think there's spades, he could do it, but majority of the time he's a basic player. And sometimes the flair players, it doesn't always work in every position. And I think Nemanja Matic gives us an element of security when he plays. And he gets a 7 out of 10 today. And Fred, in my opinion, is the man of the match. And I said at the start, I'm not going to give anyone an 8 out of 10. I've changed my mind. I'm giving Fred an 8 out of 10. for the life of me, and I will never understand how this guy gets away with so much criticism, gets away with basically people attacking him when he has been our best player, our most consistent player the entire season, and it looks like this season to come as well. Why didn't he even come off the bench against Crystal Palace? I'll never know. Same with Matic as well. Why did these players not play? I could guarantee you Crystal Palace did not score 3 goals if we had Fred or Matic in that midfield. I'm putting that out as a fact. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm putting that out as a fact. So we've seen Fred have a tremendous game. Really stood out in that midfield today. Yes, you had the creativity of Donny van de Beek out there. You had the attacking play of Mata and van de Beek really linking up very well in that attack. But at the end of the day, the only thing that stood out to me besides van de Beek was Fred. And Fred stood out very well today. And in my opinion, he's my man of the match. And he needs to keep playing. If we go against Brighton and Fred is ignored, and then we just keep playing him in the Carabao Cup until we lose and then he never plays again, that's not good enough. I'm not accepting that. Fred is clearly the better player between McTominay, and he's probably the starting CDM over Matic. In my opinion, at least. But seriously, the fact that this guy barely plays is absolutely, it boggles my mind. We need to see more of him. He's clearly good enough. Play him. Just play him, man. It's as simple as that. We'll move on. Donny van de Beek, in my opinion, I'm going to give Donny van de Beek a 6 out of 10. I don't think he wasn't bad. By any stretch of the means, he wasn't bad. In fact, it was really enjoyable. I enjoyed watching his performances today. He played very, very well. Of course, there were a few things, in my opinion, Manchester United are so different to the way that Donny van de Beek plays that it's going to take time for Manchester United to adapt to him more than Donny van de Beek adapts to Manchester United. Because in the end, he's a very creative player. His creativity means no bounds. He is unlimitedly creative. He gets the cheeky flicks. He gets the behind the back passes. He does a lot of things. And in the end, some of them didn't work out today. He's passing to Agala and Mata at the end of the day. Not the quickest players, not the sharpest players. And a lot of turnovers came from that. And he questioned how Manchester United played. He questioned that we play very slow. And that's not what we want to be. We want to be a fast team. We want to be an attacking side. And I really respect his post-game conference against Crystal Palace. But the same things happened in this game. Just because we won, we shouldn't be ignoring the fact that we were extremely slow today. We shouldn't be ignoring the negatives just because we won. At the end of the day, this isn't the Premier League. This is the Carabao Cup against a Luton Town side that, granted, is undefeated in the Championship at the moment, but is clearly not on the level of majority of the Championship teams that are there, let alone Manchester United. We should not be ignoring the opposition that we face. We should be focusing on how to improve from this game. And I think we need to play faster. I completely agree with him. There is no reason why his opinion should be neglected just because he's a new signing. Absolutely not. In fact, the new signings, in my opinion, their opinions, the way that they play probably means more because we need to adapt. It's not these new players that need to adapt. It's Manchester United that needs to adapt. And I hope to see more from Van de Beek in the future. Will he start next game? We'll have to wait and see. But he definitely has proven himself to be a worthy bench player and definitely a worthy player to come in when we need a little bit of creativity and a spark and a lot of effort. That's what you're going to get from Van de Beek, and that's what we saw today. Moving on to the attackers, and I'm sorry, a lot of these attackers are not going to get my respect in this game. Let's start off with Juan Mata. Juan Mata, for me, gets a 5 out of 10. Look, he did well. He scored the penalty, so think of that what you will. If you want to give him a 6, that's perfectly fine because he did score a goal today. But attacking-wise, I cannot understand why Ollie still picks him for the right wing. And I understand the way Ollie played today. I understand that pretty much there was no right winger today until Mason Greenwood came on. Because Mata and Van de Beek were so cut in, even when they were swapping positions. They were so cut in that they were basically both midfielders today. And there was no right wing. But at the end of the day, he was too slow on that wing, and he's just not quick enough to get to the creative ball. Mata could create a pass, but when he's on the receiving end of a pass, most of the time he's not quick enough to get on the end of it. And I do think Mata has a place in this squad, and Mata has a place against the Carabao Cups, the FA Cups, and the Europa League type teams where we are better than them, and Mata can prove that. And he proved it here. He was better than a lot of the Luton Town players. But at the end of the day, there were a lot of things that Mata did wrong today as well. And maybe it's harsh giving him a 5, but at the end of the day, we were slow, we were lethargic, and we created nothing. And I do think Juan Mata was part of that. We'll move on. Jesse Lingard. I'm going to give Jesse Lingard a 6. I think Jesse Lingard had a very good game once our substitutions came in. Once the first goal was scored, we saw the best out of Jesse Lingard. But once it was tight, when it was tight at the back, when it was 0-0, we saw nothing from Jesse Lingard. Again, a game of two halves for Jesse Lingard. And I thought he stood out in the second half. When the substitutions came in, Jesse Lingard performed better. When the goal went in, just at the end of halftime, when second half came, Jesse Lingard played better. But before that, Jesse Lingard didn't do anything. So I think a 6 is fair. Maybe a 5, but a 6 is fair. And Odion Ighalo, I'm giving Odion Ighalo a 4. I'm sorry. I did not notice his existence at all today. And a lot of the time when he had an opportunity to run, he made the runs. He made the correct runs. He made the correct plays. But it's almost like he's a little bit not up to the pace of Manchester United in the Premier League. When you get a ball that clearly sets you in for a shot, you don't let it fly by you like that, because you're just making it harder for yourself. I think Odion Ighalo is not Manchester United caliber. And I love Odion Ighalo. He clearly loves this club, and I love anybody that loves this club. It is what it is, man. It's a fan playing for this club, pretty much. And yes, he might not be up to the caliber, but I want to see him succeed here. And today's not a good performance from him, and he shouldn't be exemplified because he loves Manchester United. It shouldn't be like that. So I'm giving him a 4. I think he was far and away the worst player on the pitch today. And I hope to see improvements from him in the next game that he plays. We still need him. We don't have a backup striker coming in. It doesn't look like Jadon Sancho's coming in. So we're going to need him until he leaves in January. So until then, I want him to do good. But unfortunately, today was not his best performance. So a 4 out of 10 is basically what I'm going to give him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team selection, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 again, because honestly, I expected a lot of first teamers to play in this game because we were so poor that we probably need a little bit of chemistry, a little bit of gellingness, a little bit of just a little bit of creativity to give a lot of these players confidence. And I don't think we saw that today. I think we saw so many rotations that it's basically we're giving everybody a rest. And maybe that's what they need. And hopefully Ollie knows exactly what we need. And maybe we do need a rest. And we'll come back fighting for the next game. But it's all hopes and dreams at the moment. This win for me does nothing. I don't come into this video excited for Brighton because we beat Luton Town. I'm still very nervous about that game. But at the end of the day, we did what we were supposed to do. And to go onto the bench, Bruno Fernandes was a 6 out of 10. Nearly got an assist to Mason. Did he get? I think he did get an assist to Mason Greenwood. I'll have to check on that, but I do think he played well. Rashford gets a 6.5 out of 10 because of his goal. Again, it fell to him and he scored, but finally Marcus Rashford scores a goal, and this should only help him, man. His confidence needs to build from this because he's got his goal. He knows, he remembers now what it feels like to get the back of the net for Manchester United, and also good goal, unsavable goal. And Mason Greenwood, in my opinion, will get a 7 out of 10 because that goal, in my opinion, was absolutely class. Put these defenders running behind him. Didn't know which way he was going to go, and he just slots it in. Passes it to the back of the net. Clinical as you like. And it was sensational. I really enjoyed that. And that was by far the best goal of the night for me. There we go. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the A Sports YouTube channel. The next game that we've got is Brighton. For the Carabao Cup, we've either got Preston North End or Brighton. Funnily enough, we could be versing Brighton twice in 1 week. So we'll have to wait and see. The Carabao Cup, in my opinion, is not the end-all be-all for Manchester United. But it's nice to see us qualify. It's always nice to see us advance and get further and further. I want to win this cup. I want to win the FA Cup. And I want to compete in Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues. I don't want us to be a team that has to prioritise things. I want to be a team that's in all these competitions and makes a name for themselves. And I really think that we can be that team this season. But so far it's not been a great start, and hopefully things can be better against Brighton. We need to win that game, because if we end up going 9 points behind in 2 games, it's basically over before it starts, and hopefully that's not what we're going to see. Have a wonderful day. Take care, and peace.